This video covers what you might have missed in class today on Thursday, January 6th in 7th grade math. To get to the lesson, you're going to want to just go ahead and click on the lesson that's in the main folder, and you'll want to make sure that you're signing in with Google. I'm not signing in with Google because I don't have a student account, but please make sure that when you get to ClassKick, you sign in with Google. Once you sign into today's lesson, you're going to go ahead and meet me on slide 4. Slide 4 was the main work from today, and so that's what this video is going to cover. So take 30 seconds and meet me on slide 4 in today's ClassKick. All right, so at this point, you should have opened up ClassKick and you should be on slide 4. Slide 4 says, a mountaineer is climbing on a cliff. She's 400 feet above the ground. If she climbs up, this will be positive change, and if she climbs down, this will be negative change. Today's learning target is we're working on, let's read it. I can add positive and negative numbers. And specifically, we're going to be looking at positive and negative numbers in the context of elevation. So slide 4 has us practicing with a climber moving up and down. We can see that this climber has a starting elevation of 400 feet. The first move that the climber makes, it's a little hard to see, but the first move that this climber makes is to move 300 feet up. I'm going to fix that in my table just so that it's really clear that she's moving 300 feet up. So we can imagine what this might look like on a number line. For example, if I had a vertical number line, I know that my climber is starting at positive 400. Then I know that in row A, the climber is moving 300 feet up, which just means that we're adding 300. And so it would look something like this. 300 up, I'm moving up 300, and I would end up at 700, which I can go ahead and write into my table. It's a little messy in marker, but remember we can type in these green boxes, 700. And when I get that check on the green box, I know that I've answered it correctly. If it was incorrect, my box would turn red. Okay, I want you to pause this video and complete B, C, and D. In B, C, and D, there are different moves being made, and you need to fill in the blanks in the table. So pause this video and complete B, C, and D. All right, you should have paused to complete B, C, and D. For example, in B, we know that the climber is moving 150 feet down. So instead of adding to 400, we're going to subtract. 400 minus 150 is 250 feet as our final elevation. Similarly, when we move 400 feet down, we know that we'll be going all the way back down to 0. And so our final elevation is 0. Now, in the last row of the table, we know where the climber ends up. The climber ends up at positive 50. That means that the climber descended or went down 350 spaces to end up at a final location of positive 50. And so we know that the change in feet would be 300 down. Now, in B, it asks us to write an addition equation and draw a number line for row B of the table. That's this row here. I'm going to show you how to do the number line in B because you're going to do the ones on the next slide on your own. In row B, we know that the starting elevation is 400 feet. And so we're going to begin at 0 and move 400 spaces to the right until we end right here at 400. The reason is because we're starting at positive 400. Then the next move that gets made is the climber goes 150 feet down. And so my arrow moves 150 feet in the negative direction. In class, we've been using red to show the first move, blue to show the second move, and green to show the final position. The final position is, of course, 250. I could represent this with the following addition sentence. 400 plus negative 150, because I'm moving in the negative direction, equals 250. If you need to pause this video to catch up on part B, please do so now. Take 20 seconds. The second slide that we'll go over is slide 5. Slide 5 is very similar to what we did on slide 4. A splunker, which is someone who climbs down into caves, is in a cave next to the cliff. If she climbs down deeper into the cave, this will be a negative change. If she climbs up, whether in the cave or out of the cave or up on the cliff, this will be a positive change. It tells us to complete the table. We know that this time our climber, and this time she's a cave climber, starts at negative 200 feet. So we can imagine this again on that same horizontal number line that we used to support us on slide 4. If she starts at negative 200 and moves 150 spaces down, we can imagine that she'll end up at negative 350 because we're taking away an additional 150 spaces. And so I would type negative 350 into my box. Your directions on this slide are to finish the table and the number lines on B. To check your work, you can open the notes that are posted in the Thursday folder. Once you've finished this slide, you have a few other things to take care of today. The first is on slide 9, you have an exit ticket. The second is there's a homework assignment that's posted for you in the main folder. It's in Freckle. So to summarize, you need to finish the table and the number lines on B. Then you need to complete the exit ticket on slide 9. Then you need to complete the homework. The only slides you need to worry about from today are 4, 5, and 9. Then the homework. As always, if you have any questions, just send me an email.